Welcome back to another game in 4 Power 2 Balance Tournament. My name is Left Bauer. Today I have the privilege of casting the best of 3 round 3 of the tournament between two wonderful teams. We are in the middle of the 2-0 part of the bracket. So both teams on this map are undefeated, and they will put their skills to the test. So real quick, we will meet the teams on the right in the blue, and we'll call that the lime. We have Koi in blue on Advent Wrath, and Davey in green on Visari Exodus. Reminder, they are our current reigning champions for the previous season of 4 Power 2 Balance. On the other side of the map in orange, we have Dr. Techman as the Tech Enclave, and Yuki also running Visari Exodus. Game 1 is on Transtav. For those of you that have seen this map cast before, you guys can skip a little bit ahead. I don't mind. You know what? You do with your time what you will. For those of you that are new to this map, it is arguably the longest map that the map pool has between homeworlds. As you can see, there are a minimum of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 jumps to get from homeworld to homeworld. So most teams look at that and say, oh, this is a safe map for us to expand, get our economy going before we actually start fighting. And what you will see very quickly is both of these teams will waste no time in fighting. It is a early fighting kind of game, so hopefully everybody's ready for a long one. I'm sure you've already looked at the length of this video and have said to yourself, I should probably get a snack, get some water, put my feet up and get ready to watch this game, because it has a lot of action to it, and we're not going to have a whole lot of time to talk about the little things here and there. So we'll go really quickly over what some of these starts have been. Koi has started with the 3-1 on the Advent, has Homeworld Prophecy, has Extractors queued up, really going for that Arctic Empire quickly, because he does have 2 Arctics that he's going to have to capture, and has started with the Rapture Battle Cruiser. The Rapture, most known for the ability to steal enemy ships with domination. Vengeance, which is one that doesn't usually see a whole lot of play early game, but then late game becomes much more effective. And then Vertigo, the ability to make cooldowns take longer on enemy ships and increase their weapon reload. But the biggest and most effective part of this ship is the Malice ability. It allows you to do extra damage to other ships in a zone. So let's say you hit it on a mob of, we'll call them oppressors. For every shot that you take into a first oppressor, 30% of that damage gets essentially splashed into everything else that you hit. So 25 targets can take an extra amount of damage for 20 seconds. It helps you clear mobs of ships extremely quickly. Davey, on the other hand, has gone with a 1-3 build, and of note, he has gone for a Vitra Weapons Lab immediate start, which allows him to get to 3 research points on Warfare, but he did have to use 2 Tauronite to do it. And really quickly, we'll jump in why. He is going for a Fabricator rush on this map, immediately into Defensors. So starting off early with the Fabricators. For those that don't use Visari, the Fabricator allows you to build frigates and corvettes for the Visari faction as a mobile building lab. I believe that there is a small build penalty for using them instead of using a nano assembly factory, but it's a risk you're willing to take to be able to essentially have a ship fly around with your fleet and build ships in the same gravity well as you're fighting. So it is limited to corvettes and frigates, so none of the cruisers on this side, but it gives you the ability to, again, build stuff immediately next to your ship, or next to your fleets. Yuki has gone for the double evacuator start, and also going for a Skirantra. Now, we might miss it, so I'm going to talk about it right here. He does have 2 Tauronite left over, because the evacuator takes 2 Anvar and an Endurium. I believe the skirmisher, let me double check my work I'm sorry, evacuator is two Anvar and 1 Kalinite, whereas the Skarantra is 2 Endurium and 1 Kalinite. So uses up exactly what you've got here, and then he's got the 3 Tauronite. He needs 1 more Endurium. He can build a Cordal Devastator, which he will build. We're going to be talking about Techman when he starts doing that, because as you can see, he's already upgrading. The first upgrade on the Ferris World gives you an Endurium. So then Dr. Techman, going into a much harder economy push, looks to be almost into tier 3 economy, but setting up with the modular architecture, orbital commerce, and getting all of the trade ports available on these early planets, as well as some extractors to really get his money rolling in. He did start with the Acon battlecruiser, or I'm sorry, yeah, it is the Acon battlecruiser. For some reason I didn't think it was a battlecruiser, because it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. But he does have the Acon, a extremely powerful ship with inspiring broadcasts, give all ships in its radius extra weapon reload. The mobile trade port really will kickstart your economy, and probably the most annoying capital ship skill in the game, Armistice. That basically means for 60 seconds, every ship in the radius of Armistice does not fight. And it's kind of like a big stun. It's one of those things that you just kind of unfortunately have to deal with when it's available. But it's a very, very good ability. So starting with an Acon, you can do stuff like that. So quickly talking about Transtav. As you can see, each team starts with their, I'm going to call it their 6-pack. I like to call it a 6-pack. So they have a 6-pack, which is their homeworld, 2 asteroids, 3 tier 1 planets, all of differing types, and then they get into this carousel that's in the middle. Now there's a hive asteroid, which is unique. Usually it's just asteroids in here, but it looks like these 3 asteroids on this side, hive asteroid, and 2 asteroids on this side, and then 1 high worth planet on either corner. And then the ones in the middle will rotate around the middle, as you can see here. They just kind of do a merry-go-round, carousel, whatever you call it here. Changes all the phase lanes up, makes a planet that you thought was yours for a little while when you started with it, is all of a sudden on the enemy's side of the map, and you can have fleets moving here and there, having multiple different paths out of this center or stuck in this center. And then quickly we'll go over the neutral factions. So we do have the Vidorak Transport Cabal, which has the remote fabrication for 1 influence point, the jump field stabilizer for 3 points, and it gets you, it halves your phase jump time and allows you to ignore phase jump inhibitors. So very good tech there. The remote tachyon boost is a 75% move speed and turn speed boost to friendly ships in the gravity well that you cast it in, and then the construct phase gate, which basically lets you go from planet A to planet B, so very good. The aggressive faction this time is the pirates. Most notably of the pirates is boarding crew, which allows you to steal an enemy ship. New in this patch though is you have to kill the ship in order to actually take it over. So it's not like it used to be where, like the Rapture, you just point and click at a ship and it has the ability to steal it right away. Rapture did not lose that. However, boarding crew, you actually have to kill what you're shooting at. So if you use it on, let's say, a Harka in a neutral gravity well, you still have to kill the Harka. You have to have the damage to get through it. It's not just going to immediately do it. Smuggler's Den gives you extra income rate per population. Pirate Wager, which lets you get some random resources. And then send Pirate Raid on enemy planets. And then we also have the Yvonne's Fine Frigates. For an influence point cost, you can get 50 supply of light frigates, flak frigates, 25 supply of support, or 75 supply of heavy cruisers. So a little bit of ships here and there. So again, going through builds really quickly, Yuki did go with a Cordal Devastator as a last capital ship, starting with jam weapons. This is, I think you're going to see the impact just how good this skill happens to be in this game. I'm personally of the the opinion that Power Surge is one of my favorites to get because it lets you get a tankier Devastator. But this GM Weapons is quite the fleet debuff, especially for enemy ships. So we'll do a real quick inventory. Techman has gone backwards on civilians, so he's tier 2 on both. I think he goes for garrison shortly, but at 167 supply, Yuki, let's see. All right, so here's the one. So then the fun other thing about this map is that both factions, or I'm sorry, both sides of the map have these planets, this 2 Arctics that will eventually collide into the enemy's side of the map after a certain amount of time. So you essentially have to defend in the event that an enemy planet has ended up on your side of the map. So very, very important thing to take note of. As we can see here, Koi has captured the ice planet. This one remains uncaptured at this point. And we'll see if they go back for it. Alright, so we do see Yuki and Dr. Techman have moved up to the asteroid and the Ferris planet. Looks like Yuki doesn't have any competition really there. But Techman's got the Acon in here, and it's actually quite low. And where's he sending it? He's trying to send it in. There are 11 Javelises that will just annihilate the health pool available on this Acon, no matter what you do. So I think this is going to go into Crippled Hull very, very quickly. Yes, Acon is going to get into Crippled Hull. Looks like it's probably going to get out there, and I see action on the other side of the map, so we're going to jump back on this side. So Davy is now up to 376 fleet supply, where 144 supply is the fabricator cruisers. So he has gone heavily invested into these mobile buildings, and then that essentially means that half of his fleet supply is wrapped up in those fabricators. And it looks like both Koi and Davy are going to jump in on this gravity well. However, Yuki sees it, immediately starts to run away. Looks like they have multiple scouts on this side, so they're not taking any chances. So Dr. Techman has this scout all the way on the other side of the gravity well. They can immediately see what's happening here. Yuki did take the planet, but is sitting at about half of a metal income, so it's really not as critical if he loses it. It's just one of those ones that he's going to have to come back and maybe deal with later. Just take the free income until it's been bombed out. But it looks like Techman does have the level 5 Acon is in Crippled Hull. It is repairing on its own. Is there any? It doesn't look like there's any repair bays in there at this time, so he's just waiting for that to repair. Yuki is up to 374 fleet supply, and it looks like this Terran is just going to be left for the time being. Both teams scouting it well, but nobody really wanting to fight a 128 fleet supply of neutrals. So Davy and Koi bombing out this Ferris planet. Looks like this is going to go down quick. I'm going to guess also that Davy just takes it. Visari having the innate ability to grab Ferris planets immediately and not have to do research to do it. So while we have a very quick chance to break, Davy going full extractors on everything. Yep, grabs the Ferris. Koi, let's see, is going heavy into credits on certain planets. Does have the culture up on the homeworld, so getting the bonus income from that. But immediately going into commerce and mining, getting a couple mining here and there, and then a good smattering of extractors, so not too many. Are they going in though? Or are they scouting? This must be a scout. But they have a scout in there. I don't know why they would send just one. Is Koi going in? Nope, just getting ready. And there he goes. Davy's going in. So we're already going to have our first fight. Techman has his fleet off here, so this is a Yuki fight only. Does he have these built up? No. So the pulse guns are still coming up. Does have the double nano assembly factories ready to go, and the 4 capital ships, plus some skirmishers and some wardens. So the wardens will help with the defensors that Davy has and the Tempest. So first fight of the game. we do see that the gravity warhead comes out from the double evacuator available, as well as the subspace rupture. So Davy and Coy are going to have to be very careful where they position their ships. Otherwise, they're just going to take a bunch of free damage from subspace rupture. There is a smattering of Tempests, but most of those Tempest missiles are getting shot down by the number of Wardens that are available here, and Skirmishing is no slouch when it comes to point defense either. It looks like Coy and Davy are going to retreat now that Techman is here, and probably some of the early ships going down. Is a gravity warhead coming out? No, did not get it off. Looks like Techman may have stolen. Is that a, which one is this? I don't know if, no, this is the free one. That's the free one. So it looks like there's a chase going on. So going backwards into Davy's planet, although the fabricators are here. Here's all 8 of them. Davy's going to keep just building ships here. So let's see what they're warping into. A lot of Stillets here. Stillets will go down very quickly to Defensors and Tempests, although there is a lot of flak that will deal with both the Defensors and the missiles, as well as the Wardens. The capital ship's really under no threat at this time. There's nothing that can kill anybody's capital ships extremely quickly, so I expect both teams to deal with the smaller ships at this time and deal with the bigger ships later. Although I think that this jam weapons is going to be quite pivotal for the damage mitigation from Yuki. Koi uses a Plasma Nova to try and capture everything small in its wake, getting extra damage there. Yuki's deciding that these fabricators are actually the problem, and he's not wrong. They will continue to give Davy additional fleet supply while they're here, and they cost an Anvar, so they're very expensive. So Yuki continuing to changes his mind, going for the pulse turrets instead. Pulse turrets, especially when you start damaging them before they are built, is when they are most vulnerable, so he correctly identifies that. And I think Davy and Coy are going to see the problem. What's he shooting at? Another Rapture has come out. Yep, I always forget the name of it. Capital ships taking some minor damage on Yuki's side, but nothing that would really cause them to be under threat. And it's really just light frigates and flak and light frigates from both sides at this point. Defensors are still quite strong here for Davy, and it looks like Techman and Yuki are going to warp out instead, rather than lose any additional ships. Skirmishing did get the gravity warhead shot off on it. There is 30 seconds left on it. However, Yuki did win a emergency phase shifter item in a bid earlier that I failed to capture, and this allows this ship to go into phase space for 30 seconds, allows this gravity warhead to essentially disappear, and I don't think that Davy is going to have it available when it comes out of this phase shift. So it comes out, and it's just going to be about 10 seconds left on cooldown. So this skirmisher gets out in crippled hull, but just enough to get away for safety. So we may see the teams start to slow down a little bit here. Everybody kind of going back to dealing with their economy, getting any buffs in research to continue to fight on. So Yuki getting regenerative shielding, looks to be going for the max hull upgrade, and then also the additional skill experience for fighting and the regeneration bay. Ooh, this Acon is 6 now, so did he get the derelict? He did. He got the derelict, got him up to level 6, and again, Armistice is now available for this Acon, which can be one of the most annoying capital ship ultimate abilities to deal with, and so you need to be very careful when you engage on the Acon, and if you have the right things to kill off said Acon. So very quickly, going back to incomes. So some of these planets for Yuki are starting to reach max pop. You kind of just want to get some of these upgrades when you know that they're pretty safe. Just like any RTS that any of us have played, you basically risk payback periods anytime you're getting additional income. Did we flip sides even? Yeah, this is the side. This is how I started the game. Looks like I did this. Anyway, just like any RTS, I'm assuming Sins is not our first ATS for any of us. Those of us that play other ones, everybody knows that you pay money earlier to get a better outcome later. So would really like to see Yuki throwing some of these mining tracks on these back planets. Both of these asteroids and this ice planet would be really good to get, as well as when he has time to spend it on metal here, just to get his income up. So again, because we have a direct comparison with what Davy's got, Yuki at 17 and 9, and Davy at 26 and 12. So very different in terms of income at this time. So Davy also at going for tier 3 immediately. Also has developed some of these planets, has the labor camps available on the planets, as well as the metal seeking nanites. So has spent a lot of money on his economy. And that essentially just lets him build back ships much quicker than Yuki would be able to do replacement for them. So still has the almost 200 fleet supply of the fabricators, and essentially he's at 430 supply of ships. So very curious to see what else he's going for. He is going for all of the defensive tech at this point. Maybe even gonna go for the armor when he can afford it. Very good. I think it's a good choice to go for the population growth. I also really like getting culture into the max allegiance. Visari has the 6 max allegiance available. Looks like he does see that there are ships here. It is a level 1 Acon instead of the level 6 though, so it looks like Techman has added a capital ship while I've been blabbing my mouth out. Pirates are going to invade this Ferris planet that Davy owns. As you can see, he's got a nice income of 5 on this planet. Does he have anything else on it? He does. So he has metal-seeking nanites. A very good tech if you have spent money on exotics to just bump up that metal. That's why we can see he's all the way up at 28 at this time. Koi looks to be sending a smaller fleet. Is that his whole fleet?
Hostility research complete.
Yeah, it looks like he's sending his whole fleet here to deal with what Techman's got on the planet. Techman does have a garrison recruitment on this planet, so able to add ships into this fight from the garrison on this side. Although that is a good smattering of Tempests from Koi. They will make short work of all these corvettes. Does he have... He does have anima redirection, so anytime you shoot a missile, at least once they're out, they will find a target. So once they're out, again, they'll redirect as soon as they kill something. There's the kill. There they redirect. Where are they going? Looks like it's still it. So taking that out. However, this Terran is fairly exposed. This Terran only has 1 warp point back into Techman's planet. He has a garrison. He has a repair bay. And looks to be adding autocannons. So it'll be a little difficult for Koi to go back through that planet. And it looks like Techman is deciding to essentially block Koi in there with a fleet of his own, plus the garrison, plus the defenses he's going to build there. And where's Yuki going? Nope, Yuki's just positioning. There is no warp between this planet here, and Davy still has his fleet of 700 on this planet. Although it looks like Koi has captured the pirate galleon. It'll take a lot of damage going through this planet right here. This is not going to be free by any means. Did use the pillage. Looks to be getting, I don't even know how this ability works, doing extra damage to an enemy structure. So nothing significant there, but getting quite damaged. Looks to be going all the way through armor and most of the way through hull. So took a significant bite of damage. And either Koi's going to have to add a ship item, which Advent has a really good one for free ones for capital ships. Or sorry, non-exotic costs here. Techman is going in though and correctly evaluates. I think that he has just more supply than Koi has here, and Koi doesn't have defensive structures up yet. Plasma Nova comes out again from Koi, positions it really well so that this is going to hit all of these frigates and all of these Gardas just trying to deal damage to him. Although there's so many Gardas that this level of Tempest is not going to get very many missiles out. They're just too short range, or they're too much damage, point defensing the missiles down. So again, focusing on these Harkas that Koi probably has stolen with his Raptures, while Koi does try to get up a bunch of turrets. Not a single one of them is built up though, so it's going to be whatever can be finished off. Another Plasma Nova comes out, building a new Plasma Nova as well as the shield battery just to keep these ships alive. However, the Pirate Galleon is getting focus fired, and it looks like it's going to go into capturable space, and I think Koi is at a problem where he cannot capture it back temporarily, so only Techman can steal this. He does have 2 capital ships in the vicinity to take it, while the rest of his light frigates, he's got 37 of them, deal with all of the structures that Koi has going up, and just not enough to deal with here. Koi did pump out a Radiance while I was watching everything else going on with the Pirate Galleon, although this Galleon immediately goes to Techman, low on health, low on armor, and no ability to shoot any of its abilities. However, Koi is now has the Revelation out, and where's Davy? Is Davy coming? Davy's stuck at this planet. Nope, looks like he's going to go right through Techman's planet, while Yuki's unavailable on this side of the planet. Davy does have a starbase here, so maybe that's enough to defend it. But a lot of these light frigates and a lot of this flak is just dealing with what Koi has. There's not a lot of Tempests here. He doesn't have any frigate factories, so he's just kind of stuck with whatever he's got left for Tempests while they're getting hammered on by these Cobalts, chewing them down. And Dr. Techman always has this level 6 Acon to deal with Armistice in case this ever becomes too big of a problem for him. Is anything being focus fired by Techman? What's Techman saying? Radiance comes out again, uses Animosity additionally, uses the Plasma Nova as well as the shield battery, trying to keep itself alive. And it looks like it's going down on shield. Koi, I think, does have shield burst at this time. Davy's all the way in here, either dealing with the turrets, looks to be going straight through instead. So this fight is actually fairly close. I think Koi has enough capital ships out that aren't really under threat by the light frigates that Dr. Techman has brought out. What's going to be under threat, though, is possibly these Acons, if Davy gets the evacuator in here to use the gravity warhead. Nice use of flak field by that level 3 Acon. The level 6 is stunned out. And there's the Armistice to get back to safety. Where does Davy? Davy's fighting here. Yuki has come in. So there are a lot of defensors and a lot of skirmishers. However, Techman does still have multiple other autocannons going up, as well as the low health and low antimatter retrofit bay. Everything's still an Armistice though. When's this? I'm not sure when this cooldown comes off. Doesn't say in the timer how much time's left, but it should be getting close. Davy using this moment to get his level 6 evacuator out so it doesn't get picked off. Armistice wears off and the battle's back on. Skirmishers focus firing. Yuki's skirmishers decides to refocus onto the Wardens. There's not a whole lot of damage here for Team Dad and the Dial-Up Kid. Fleet supplies are still close. We're down to 209. What are we at? So we're at 586 for Yuki, 765 for Davy, 346 for Koi, and 213 for Dr. Techman. So unfortunately, the Dad and the Dial-Up Kid is fighting into turrets, which makes it that much harder to deal with stuff. Plasma Nova goes off on oppressor, so Yuki has gone up to the heavy cruisers. Heavy cruisers take a significant amount of reduced damage from these skirmishers, and these skirmishers seem to be going down quite quickly, while Davy does dance around with his defensors, although they are also going down very quickly. They lose heavily to light frigates when they're running away from them. When they're able to circle, though, is when they can do most of their damage. Another flak burst comes out to catch all the missiles that Koi's been shooting out, although I don't think that there's much left here. Tekman's losing ships. Koi's down to 450. And it looks like Yuki's down to 460, so he's lost a lot. Davy's continuing to drop down to 600 available on this planet. And it looks like Koi loses a level 6 Rapture off on the backside. And now the Radiance is also under threat. Is this one going to get out? He's going... Where's he going? Oh, he's going to the neutral gravity well. So that's going to get out, but quite low. Is there anything else being focus fired? Revelation being focus fired as well, a little bit. What's being shot out at? Everything is dying so very quickly here. Yuki's still standing strong with 12 oppressors. Those are probably going to have the best time here because there's not very many things in this gravity well that can kill them. And while we're even talking about it, a level 3 pirate galleon has decided to grace the gravity well. While Yuki focus fires down all of these fabricators, steals one of them for free with the pirate capture ability, and the remaining, how many are there? 5 fabricators under severe threat, all under radiation bomb. So much damage coming out. Looks like Yuki does have this Scrantra low again, but uses the emergency phase shifter to save itself. Koi's Radiance is back into the gravity well. What else is getting low? There is not much left available here for either team. Davy still has this level 7 evacuator. He's using the drain planet, trying to just kill off the planet, but there's still too much health available for it. Evacuator's starting to get low. It does have radiation bomb on it. It is disrupted armor from the Cordal Devastator, but it looks like it's probably going to get out. I think the subspace rupture missed. Yep, or I'm sorry, the gravity warhead missed. So after all of that, we'll take very quick stock on it. So there is 400 fleet supply left on this Terran, and Koi trying to reinforce through this significantly developed asteroid of Dr. Tekman. 9 auto defense platforms and a Gauss factory, or sorry, a Gauss defense platform, and 5 light factories just to deal additional garrison recruitment. He is up to level 2, so that's 250 extra supply while they deal with that. So where'd that pirate galleon go? Did I miss it? Thought I saw it. There it is. Where's this guy going? This pirate galleon looks to be going towards Koi's backline, so we'll have to keep an eye on it. But Yuki up to 720, Tekman at 354, but continuing to climb his 215 of the garrison. Looks like he's also researched the Caliph, so that will now also come out. But only has the Stillet and the Caliph and the Garda available. Does not yet have heavy garrison. So his garrison will be quite strong with just Caliph, just Stillets, and just Flak with the occasional Cobalt available. And he could roll the dice if he wants to send it somewhere else. But again, Dr. Tekman does have this level 4 and upgraded pirate galleon. So it looks like we are going in to fight again. Koi's still under development of all of his point defense platforms. Or not point defense, laser defense. So they're going to want to fight over here. Looks like Davy's pumped out a number of Canrack, but I think there might just be too much flak available for actually both factions. Between 10 Wardens on Yuki, 24 Gardas available for Dr. Tekman. And it looks like Yuki and Tekman are just going to immediately go after these laser defense platforms, not deal with the fleets really at all. The Oppressor is not really under threat from any of the ships that are available. Canrack's stuck in both a subspace rupture and gravity warhead, which means they take double damage from subspace rupture. Koi is dragging some of these oppressors around with the animosity and the plasma nova, trying to keep them off of Davy's Canracks, because those are going to be what actually probably wins this fight if there's a fight to win at all. What Davy is trying to deal with, as you can see, all these Canrack missiles are not even making it out of the Canracks, so there's just too much point defense at this time to deal with it. They're not even hitting these oppressors at all. So let's see what's low. Koi has a low shield. Radiance. And I think there's just too much flak available for the side of for Missile knows where it isn't. There's just too much flak. Davies, Canrex now down to 2, so there's not even very many left. But there's just too much point defense to deal with it. What's getting low? This Radiance is getting focus fired now by the oppressors. And what happened to it? Emergency phase shifter also available on it for Koi to save it for the time being. Although there's just too many capital ships available here for Yuki. This pirate galleon, now up to level 5, has skilled up Twin Bolt 3, so it's just a matter of antimatter at this point, and it's an 8-second stun for anything in that in the range of this shot. What is low? Revelation now being focus fired for Koi. It is level 4. It has been hit by the ion bolt from the pirate galleon, and this focus fire looks to be good because that killed it off. And both Davy and Koi are looking to get as much out of this gravity well as possible. Radiance takes the gravity warhead. That's 17 seconds where it's not going to be able to leave, nor is this Rapture. So I think Koi might be losing another capital ship right here. And is this one going to get out? Yep, this one's going to get out just fine. And did Koi save that one? Yep, the level 3 Revelation is going to get out, but it's very low. Koi has this level 2 here. It looks like he's just going to... This one's going to get out as well, because it looks like all of the capital ships are going straight at the planet, and there's not enough damage here to stop it if he was going to go for it. So it looks like Missile knows where it is and is going to take this Terran planet. They just have to finish bombing it out while there's still 11 defense platforms available, but with this amount of oppressors, with this amount of Harkas, and with the fact that there are now Hashikos available for Techman, there's just not going to be anything that really threatens any of these ships. So they'll just quickly chew through this planet. Let's see, Koi and Davy are on their way back, and while I've been talking, even more going on. So in the backline, Yuki does have some raiders. Looks like he is currently teched up to 17. So for anyone who watched the previous round's games, this is exactly what Yuki did last time, is he waited until these planets intersected and then immediately sent raiders to the backline. And it looks like Davy's doing the exact same thing to Yuki, except Yuki has a Skarantra here. That might actually be able to deal with the amount of raiders that Davy's sending. But I don't think that these pulse guns are going to come up in time, especially with 21 raiders. They will make quick work of this level of turrets. So both Visari players essentially managing to go towards each other's backline. It's just going to see whichever one does the most economic damage. Looks like Koi has these exotic refineries that are under threat, and we see where's the pirate galleon? Pirate galleon went for the home planet, so it's bombing out some of the ships and all of the buildings on Koi's home world. And he doesn't have anything in the back able to deal with that. So this galleon's just going to run wild for a little bit, while all of these pirate ships are going to also deal with the structures Koi has in the back. But what really is going to be the problem is Yuki's going to get so much income from these raiders. Davy's also, again, doing the same exact thing on the other side. So while the fleets continue to essentially build up and lick their wounds, we have some backline shenanigans on both sides of the map. So I'm going to take a drink. That was quite the hour of combat. And just give me a second to catch my breath on that one.
Military structure complete.
All right. So looks like Koi is sending a number of Tempests. So when you get to enough Tempests, essentially they'll deal with these raiders quite well. Yuki is continuing to go after the exotic refinery and not even trying to deal with the Tempests at this point. So Davy at tier 3 on both Warfare and Empire, building his fleet back. Looks to be adding a Marauder. I know he's a big fan of the Marauder just because the phase out is so good, as well as the aura to increase the move speed on your ships. Koi is also tier 3, continuing to research. And looks like the Illuminator tech has come out. So, yep, Illuminators have come out. So he is up to 18 built with 8 more queued up. And has a significant number of capital ships. On quick count, I think I see 8. And has put the structural force field items on his capital ships. I know he's a big fan of that one, essentially because it does not cost an exotic, and adding the hull to an advent capital ship means it gives you that much extra time to get your shield burst back off and keep your fleet alive. So a very effective item. Let's see, Davy has a starbase on that planet and this planet, so any entry into the side of Dad FPS and the Dial-Up Kid does have star bases. Are they upgraded? Nope, looks like they're going to fight on this neutral gravity well. That's going to be an interesting fight. Are they both there? So it's about 1,000, a little bit over 1,000 supply here for Techman and Yuki. And I also know Yuki's got, or I'm sorry, Techman has this set to defensive roam. So his fleets are immediately going in. They land right on top of each other. That's a nice amount of Harkas, though, for Dr. Techman. And Yuki has his ships here. Let's see, what's he going to use? Gravity Warhead and level 3 subspace ruptures. Not pulling any punches there. Has he used it? Gravity Warhead has been used on 1. So a number of these ships affected by this Gravity Warhead are going to get picked off while they sit here. Oppressors will do a very nice job killing off this evacuator. It looks like to be focus fired here by both of the heavy cruiser fleets. Subspace rupture is, there's 16 seconds, it's dead. So Davy loses a level 7 evacuator. That's gonna hurt a lot. And all of these can racks are stuck here waiting for Gravity Warhead to wear off. Looks like it has. They're gonna get out. However, that was a big blow. So Techman at 700, Yuki at 1150. Davy is queued up for 1,000 supply, but a solid 200, almost 200 of it is still queued up while his raiders continue to wreak havoc on Yuki's backline. So I'm going to take a quick look at Yuki. Yuki down to tier 2. Actually, he doesn't have anything in tier 3 for resources. Continuing to be staying in tier 3 for his empire. Although Davy continuing to use his raiders.
Military structure complete.
He's just going to deal with the pulse gun turrets. Pulse gun turrets, while they will do some decent damage to raiders, there's too many raiders for Davy to deal with it. So just unfortunate there. And it looks like Koi has fortified this ice planet with a starbase. Let's see if we've got any other defenses of note on any of these. So no star bases yet. Let's see. No star bases yet for anybody on this side. I don't think it shows on this map anymore. So this would be the one that has it, isn't it? Yeah, this is the one that has the starbase already. So it's not showing that there's one there. Maybe that's a bug. I don't know. Maybe it's a replay bug. But a solid amount of supply available here for both Yuki and Dr. Techman. Looks to be about 1,700 supply. Koi is losing planets in his backline, and that pirate galleon, while at level 3, there is almost 400 supply of ships on this volcanic planet, as well as the fact that there are exotic refineries and laser defense platforms available here. What do we see here? Yuki still has some raiders available. Did he lose them all? Yeah, he lost all of them except for these two. So these two are just going to keep picking on whatever they can in the backline and earning Yuki a little bit of additional resources. But the phase lanes shifted, so everybody's going to have to do a little do-si-do. Looks like Techman and Yuki are going to look at this primordial planet because there are no defenses built up on it, and it looks like they've got first move, so they're getting in there first. Techman's got his fleet fighting from the ice planet into Koi's volcanic, and there's about 500 supply of pirates there, while Yuki and Techman have essentially gotten to an undefended planet although Davy and Koi are not far behind.
Defense upgrade complete.
Here comes another big fight, it looks like. So Koi and Davy both showing up.
Structure complete.
Koi has 15 illuminators. It's probably going to go up as we go. Yuki going straight for the planet. And where's he sending these? He's sending his sub-capitals to go fight anything that he can over here. Looks like he's going to go straight for the illuminators, knowing that they're the biggest threat. Although Koi does have 33 of them available. Capital ships peel off. Looks like they want to fight in here. Plasma Nova from Koi's capital ships picking on these oppressors. Although these oppressors look like they've been affected by other things. No, they're chasing Canrex around. So Koi did use the animosity, and he's dragging all of these heavy cruisers away from this fight to keep all of the subcaps safe. What's under threat? So Yuki has this level 5 evacuator that seems to be under the most threat currently. No shield available on it. Davy's building a starbase all the way on the other side. It doesn't look like anything's shooting at it yet. Really what he wants is he wants this phase jamming to show up so that they can slow the retreat of the enemies in this fight. Koi sitting at 32 illuminators. Skirmishing seems to be getting low, and Radiant's getting low. But looks like Yuki and Techman are going to try and leave the gravity well before this starbase goes up. There's a solid 90 seconds left of it. There's the armistice from the, which one cast it? The level 8 Acon. Looks like they're going to try and get out as much as they can before that starbase finishes so they don't get stuck in this gravity well. Alright, some ships are leaving.
Civilian structure complete.
Is Techman going to get out?
Our fleet has engaged the enemy.
Yeah, all that's left here are the sub-capitals from the garrison that will get just picked off by anything Koi or Davy still have here. There's still a significant amount of damage available. It's just they're going to get picked off and picked on this whole time as they try to leave the gravity well. Alright, in the meantime, Koi has lost the volcanic in the back. Did Yuki lose his gamma fleet? Yeah, he doesn't have any raiders still remaining. Davy still has 7 available, and it looks like he's just picking on pulse defense turrets, continuing to make some extra money on that side of the map. Interestingly though, Davy has set up the debris reclamation center, allows him to get extra money for getting into fights on nearby planets. So it allows him to make money for killing enemy stuff, which I think is going to be very beneficial to them. Although again, there is a level 4 pirate here, and Koi continues to have to deal with pirates dealing with his laser defense platforms on this side while his planet is already bombed out. So he's going to have to answer that. Otherwise, this pirate's just going to clear up this entire side of the map for him, and I don't think he wants that. But Yuki, obviously afraid of, Yuki and Techman afraid of this starbase at this time. It's just not something you want to have to deal with. They're using vision from the fabricator, and the hangar defenses of this starbase are just going to deal with it for the time being. Let's see what else we got going. So taking quick stock of where we're at, Davy has almost capped out on fleet supply in tier 3, so he's very close. Is currently tier 3 and tier 3 on both of his. Yuki continues to lose some of the income on his back planets here. Davy is taking out all the extractors, and I don't know if Yuki's had a chance to replace them just because Davy keeps killing them all. There's still 2 running around here. Where's he sent them? Davy's sending them after extractors, so just enough to mess with Yuki's income. Techman also tier 3 and tier 3. Little short on money to buy these supplies here on this planet, although has a number of trade posts, looking to get a bunch of additional income anywhere he can. Plus he's got some extractors scattered throughout with all of the light factories and all of these garrisons that if Koi or Davy get to this side of the map or this side of the map, they're just going to have a hard time having to pick through all of the ships that are available for both of these factions. And then last but not least,
Civilian structure
Koi is
complete.
teching all the way up to tier 4. Is already done with tier 4. We see the Titan Foundry under research with the Oblivias coming out. Looks to be next. Also currently stopped on 1500 supply while he deals with these pirates. I don't think anything else is going on at this time. So I'll just stay here. It's a lot of Illuminators. Illuminators deal extremely well with pirate rogues. I don't think he's going to lose hardly anything here. Looks like Davey has his level 2 evacuator to replace the one he lost. Again, where's that Titan Foundry going up?
Research complete.
It's not placed yet.
Our shields no longer protect us.
Well, this Revelation seems to be taking quite the beating
Hostility research
from all of these tiny ships that are available here. He does own this planet again, so he's gonna, looks like he's gonna go deal with Techman here. Very lightly defended planet at this time, so maybe that's something he can deal with. And it looks like Yuki and Techman are repositioning.
complete.
Davey continuing to be a menace back here with the 2 remaining raiders that he has, so just enough of a problem. Davey now up to going to tier 4 with his warfare research. Yuki still on tier 2 economy and looks to be headed a little bit towards tier 4 on warfare, just not there. Techman also tier 3 and tier 3 on his. And is he getting the research? No, still short on that. Hostile forces where? Oh, Koi going in. Okay. Looks like Koi did not deal with the pirate galleon.
Military research complete.
So this planet's under threat again, while his ships are going to probably very quickly clear this planet out. Does look like it does have the defense tracks, so a very healthy planet. And he's got all these Illuminators, so he's maybe going to lose a couple Illuminators here and there. But hopefully deal with it quickly for his sake. Where's Yuki headed? Yuki looks to be headed towards this asteroid.
The item is ready. Let's put it to good use.
And Starbase has gone up. Looks like Yuki and Techman are doing double Starbases. So this is Yuki's Orculus, and Techman has the Argonov. Looks to be adding defenses to it, so that's a good purchase for him. Terran doesn't have anything. Looks like he does have a Starbase on the asteroid here. That'll be the first one that comes into threat again, I think, is if anything crosses there. Yeah, Pirates continuing to fight in here. I think Koi's going to have to send his fleet back to deal with that. And let's see, where's Yuki going? Does he say anywhere? Nope, just positioning. Surprised Koi's backline planet hasn't caused more of an issue thus far. He could just start going in. There is a starbase here, so he'd have to have the right ships to come in and deal with Yuki's starbase. But currently not a concern. Davey trying to scout this planet out. Looks to be way too many defenses. Probably realizes it's double starbase there. Alright, so looking very quickly at income, Yuki 17 and 9.9. Davey 33 and 16. Koi 57, 14, and 23. Advent players, you will notice the homeworld is 28 credit income, which looks to be about half. So has done a nice job upgrading the rest of his planets. Has he got the... He's working on getting the metal incomes. Or I'm sorry, not the metal, just the mining incomes on his planets, as well as going very quickly into upgrading this ice world, even though there's no pop on it yet. So a little bit, maybe a little bit premature. And I think Yuki realizing that this is a threat planet for him to have to deal with, while Koi deals with pirates in the backline. But looks like Techman is quite stalled out here. Davey's in a nice middle position on this planet here, just to deal with anything that's going on. We do see the Oblivia queued up. Where is it? On this asteroid. He's waiting for some exotics. So as soon as he gets that, he's going to have Oblivia coming out there. Nice defenses there because this is a forward-facing planet. Does Davy has researched the Anacrol. Does he have it built? It's not building yet. He's currently supply blocked. Waiting for more supply. Yuki, still a little light on income. Does he have anything? Nope, 1500 supply. Techman also double tier 3 and currently supply blocked. Is he? Yep, he's waiting for some exotics. And then he'll unsupply block himself.
Research rate upgrade complete.
So Davy's trying to send his fleet in. I think Yuki decided he's going to deal with these as best he can. Davy's going to try and keep them from getting caught. So 75 additional supply. Although this is the entirety of Yuki's force right now. So we'll see if Davy or Koi decide to make a, we'll call it an educated play, that there's nothing available. Although this pirate still continues to fight on this side of the map. Davy does slip in all 75 supply of these raiders. Does he have a Titan yet? No, Davy does not have the Titan research. Does not have Cornium. Is in the process of researching Cornium, so I'm just a little bit ahead of myself. So the raiders dealing with the pulse defense turrets, just to give him a little bit more income and to deal with any of the infrastructure that Yuki has in the backline. Because if you don't have infrastructure, then you can't do research. And if it's constantly under threat, then there's not much that can be done. So Davy is, let's see, is he down? He's down to 10. So the pulse defense turrets are doing enough damage, but I think he's going to focus fire these. Is that what he's doing? Yeah, he's just trying to deal with them. Just not quite enough regen for this level of pulse defense guns, so steadily losing them even though he's got 50 supply total.
Our ally has lost a colony. An auction is underway.
So we do have the Oblivia sighting for Koi.
Arrival visualized.
Very curious to see what he's going to choose to build on this ship. Let's see if there's anything of note. Koi is trying to find this pirate galleon. I don't think that they were expecting it to be this much of an issue. While both Davy and Techman, I think Davy's trying to hide his fleet a little bit, because as you can see here, do they have vision of it? Yeah, they don't have vision of where Davy's fleet is, because when it's one jump off of the Ferris planet, you can't see it because it's not the direct jump. So Davy's just trying to hide his fleet one jump off of whatever path he would expect them to take.
Our forces have engaged.
I mean, they've looked at this recently. So they've seen this 2 minutes ago. They've seen this a minute ago. And this has been 14 minutes. So they saw Koi was here. So just everybody's doing a little bit of a do-si-do. See, does Techman see it? I know he does have side art. Does he have the building? Yeah, so maybe he does see it. Yeah, there, he can see it. So you can see Davy moving back and forth. So he's just matching fleets while Yuki's occupied with Koi's planet stuff here, and Koi's busy dealing with pirates in the back. So Techman and Davy continuing to bounce back and forth with each other. Techman going all the way up to tier 4 though, going for 12 immediately. Is he researching anything? He's not. Starting to go into Javelises. I think that's a good choice. I do see that he's got the culture upgrades. The max speed might help, but I think what would be the most important, where is it? I'm not a tech player, so I don't know where it is. Thought you got culture for having trade ports. This one. If he was able to grab this one, he does have a significant number of trade ports, and that would push culture possibly stronger than what Davy or Koi is able to put out. Because as we can see on this planet, Koi's actually losing culture currently, and it's being picked up by Dr. Techman. So just enough culture that maybe Techman would be able to overcome everything that Koi's trying to push out. So I don't think Koi has that many. Yeah, he's only got 2 temples up, and that could quite easily be overwhelmed. So Yuki has cleaned up this ice planet in the back. Koi has cleaned up the pirates in the back, so I think both fleets are just going to start going back towards the middle of the map. Koi is researching the second Oblivia and the fleet supply and the Coronata, so maybe we're going to see Titans. Davy already has the Verastra researched. He looks like he's getting some extra upgrades on it too, the defensive ones. So is he going to? Oh, there's a pirate in the back line. Is it a big one?
Complete.
No, Davy's got stuff in the back. Must have used fine frigates for that.
Structure complete.
Yep, he just used it to deal with this incursion. Does he have... Where's his fleet beacon? Fleet beacon is here. He does have the level 1 Wanderer up. Going for the inertial anchor, this will help slow down enemy strike craft and missiles. Although there's not very many strike craft or missiles available from Techman or Yuki at this time. Does have nano repair swarm. I like that late game. That's one of those ones that you can just manage to deal with. Does have double mobile exotic refineries available on 2 capital ships, getting the self-repairing armor and the phase attenuated shield onto his capital ship. I think it would have been might have been a good purchase earlier, because Visari versus Visari matchups, those phase attenuated shields tend to do a lot more mitigation work than we expect, even though Yuki doesn't really have that many missile, or doesn't have that much missile capacity in his game. He's got the Cordal and he's got the Skirantra and the Marauder now, and then the 6 Wardens. So really, maybe it's not going to do that much, but really the oppressors, you can't really do much with the oppressors, so maybe that's not the best idea. Yuki does have nano repair swarms and nano catalyzer swarms on just about everything, plus the starbase available on this level 6 evacuator. Is Davy doing it though? Is he building? Titan is building. He is missing some Kalinite. So do they have vision of that? They know the fleet beacon's there. That's the only thing they know. Visari doesn't have to be as sneaky. They don't have a Titan factory like everybody else. So if you don't know where the fleet beacon is, you don't know much of anything. And they can't see where the fleets are at this time. They just know that they're not here. But they will hear the Titan being built when it's finished. Do they see the fleets here? No, they should see it if they see one more jump, because I believe that Techman, nope, he doesn't have Sidar on this planet. So they wouldn't see this one if Koi and Davy move here. The Oblivia is leveled up though. Plasma Agitator available, Energy Accelerator available for extra range and damage. I still like the Structural Force Fields because it does not cost an exotic. And then the Looting Cruise, Koi's just going to get a lot of extra money just for this ship doing damage. Has gone with the Psykinetic Blast. Excuse me. The Psykinetic Blast for the skill has not gone Subsume Energy. I don't even know what this one does. I think this one's just steals antimatter and causes reload.
Production of the item is complete.
Yeah, not too much. And then Volatile Plasma, which is one of the big ones. Does Davy have 2 Wanderers? Nope, just the one. Titan's halfway done. And there's enough time in this game that I think this is going to get built. Is there anybody dealing with anything at this time? So no, Davy and Koi have some built up credits on their back planets. Oh, we didn't look at artifacts at all.
Infrastructure optimized.
Yuki has the extra fleet supply one. Techman has the research one. Koi has universal terrarium for bonus capacity. Davy has weapon symbiote and resilient metalloids and manifested dominion if he decides to go culture. So he's going to have, I'm going to say, arguably 2 of the best Titan items immediately upon build of the Titan. How close is this being done? Almost done. It's going to get done, I think. I think there's just too much time available. So Yuki and Techman doing the, we'll call it the fleet dance. They can see Koi's coming in here with the Oblivia. And are they researching? They're on their way into tier 4. Techman's still short on military. Okay, good. He's fully up to 1,500 supply. He really needs to get into tier 4 and start pushing out Titans and super caps.
One of our enemies has finished a Titan.
Okay, Titan is built. I believe that's basically what Koi and Davy were waiting for. Microphase jump and Maw immediately on this Titan. And Yuki and Techman, I don't think have an answer at this time. Though I think a level 6 Galleon is good. It's just not going to deal with a Titan. The Titan is too healthy. There's just too much shield, too much hull on the Visari one. And it just got doubled. Or the armor just got doubled on this Titan. This has 9,000, almost 10,000 armor on this ship. Even if you get through the shields, you're just not going to be able to deal with all of that armor as well as the weapon reload that's on this ship. So Davy, I think correctly, going for 3 defensive items immediately, then grabbing the heavy wave cannon and then the wave modulator, because this is a wave heavy ship. All right, looks like there's some. Davy's sending his fleet at the pirates. Looks like Koi is sending as well. I've seen plays like this before. So if you send the Titan in here, you can power level this thing. Is it on its way? Yep, it's on its way. So Koi and Davy sending only sub-capitals into the pirate gravity well. And as soon as this Virastra gets in, it's going to just soak experience, and we'll just keep an eye on this experience bar. And it's level 3 already. Mawing in all of these sub-capitals. Already level 4. Continuing to do damage, continuing to level up. Shield's almost gone, but there's too many sub-caps. Nothing's going to go down. Almost level 5. It is now level 5. So there is a level 5 Titan on the board, and Dr. Techman and Yuki do not have an answer to it at this time. Is it going to get to level 6 before Techman or Yuki move? It's going to be close. Alright, so he is trying to capture the pirate galleon. Although it looks like Techman is going in from his planet. I think they realize exactly what's happening. And they are kind of under an urgency to fight at this time. So this might be the last fight of the game. There is a starbase available. Davy does have the Wanderer up on this gravity well as well. So there's a lot of turrets and the starbase, plus all of the other capital ships for Davy and Koi. So there's a lot of capital ships here. It's just going to be whether or not these heavy cruisers can deal with the starbase or with the capital ships. What's losing? So starbase is going down extremely quickly for Davy. The manta ray tries to jump in, misses the jump in, but gets the maw off and pulls all the oppressors in, and the Marauder goes down. But that's the only capital ship. But because the starbase is still alive, actually no, I don't think phase jamming does anything. Does phase jamming still work? No, armistice. Akon jumps out. There's too many subcaps available. All of these Harkas dragged back by the Radiance to the middle of the gravity well, and there is just going to be too much damage available here from Davy and Koi. I think Yuki and Tekman needed to really get their Titans out to really stand a chance on this one, and because this Varastra is now level 6, it could phase tunnel into some backline planets and take away all of the income for Missile Knows Where It Isn't. But right now it looks like these Radiances and any gravity warheads from Davy's evacuator are just going to keep all of these ships here and let this Titan get gigantic. So Davy at 2,000 supply. It looks like he sent some of the oppressors in here, and it looks like they're all going to go down on this side of the planet. Is anything going to get out? Nope, nothing's getting out. Although Koi is jumping in. It is into a Titan. Koi is by himself currently. Davy looks like he's trying to work on it. Koi's already in though, and there's still a significant number of capital ships here. The level 6 Rapture is probably going to be the key ship here if Koi can find a good point to place Malice, although Malice doesn't have the cooldown yet. So Tekman and Yuki fighting into double star bases, and I believe this is a quite upgraded starbase for Tekman. It is, but it has Quell, Revelation doing its job. Koi has a level 4 Radiance under threat. Davy has joined the fight. I think that there's just too much fleet supply here from Dad FPS and the Dial-Up Kid. Looks like be about 3,000 supply versus maybe a hair over 1,000. So there's just too many ships here. The Armistice comes out again. Where is everybody gonna go? So Yuki and Dr. Tekman can jump away quicker because they don't have to deal with the phase jamming available from these star bases. So they're going to try and get out, although the Akon gets out first, meaning that Yuki's ships just have to essentially deal with being stuck in the gravity well. And is there going to be extra damage here? It looks like Yuki does not have this capital ship leaving. Why is it not leaving? No, it's just not moving. So it looks like Yuki's capital ships are stuck in the gravity well. He's going to lose a Skarantra, looks to be a level 6 Skarantra, and a level 6 evacuator, because there's no way that these are getting out. Nope, starting to phase jump. Nope, there's just too much focus fire. So Yuki loses a lot of his ships. The asteroid is under threat over on this side, although I think the Titan is, or I'm sorry, the Starbase is what's going to be under threat at this time. And Yuki down to 400 supply, Tekman down to 670, while Koi and Davy are sitting at 2,000 apiece. I think that this one is not far from being called.
We are in grave danger without our armor.
Yuki is trying to put out a bunch of penetrators, but when you don't have anything else to go with it, it's just not going to do much. Starbase under threat. GG is called by Missile Knows Where It Isn't. Davy and Koi, looks like they have clawed back. That was quite the intense game from both teams. There was not a lot of breathing room at the beginning of that game, and I think Dad and the Dial-Up Kid did a nice job of recovering from a sticky situation on that Terran planet to save as much fleet as they could and then get to a spot where they were not as vulnerable. So very good 2-hour game from Dad FPS and the Dial-Up Kid. So I think we can look at the story here to see what happens. So fleet supply, there was a big fight right here between Davy and Yuki. Koi was significantly ramping up ships at this point. And then Tekman lost a bunch of ships at the beginning of this fight. So then here was the biggest fight, I think. So where this would have been about where Koi was fighting, or they were fighting on that asteroid. in Dr. Techman's territory. So then they fled off to Koi's planet. Davy was stuck, unable to build. And then Koi did a nice job of not losing too many ships despite being on a planet where he didn't have that many defenses. So Yuki was winning in fleet supply here. Davy was able to catch up. And then Koi, Davy, and Yuki just kind of matched each other all the way up to the 2,000 point with Techman very close behind. But then this big fight right here in front of, Data FPS's star bases and the Titan, there's just not enough firepower available at that point to deal with the big Titan there. I want to say that the big reason that game lasted the way it did it was income. Where is it? Total income. So really, it's Davy almost doubling Yuki on the metal income. I think that was probably a big factor, as well as the total income. And Davy just ahead of Yuki on the crystal. So the big part of this patch is if you can do the economy behind a wall of turrets or behind a wall of ships, you're eventually just going to over income your opponent, and that's where you get your might in this game, is getting the income. So very good game from both teams, and we will get on to game 2 shortly.